venga por mí. Aquí lo espero en Miraflores. No se tarde en llegar, cobarde.
And now, if you don't know, now you know.
Sicker than your average. Papa twist cabbage off instinct. Niggas don't think shit stink. Pink gators. My Detroit players.
All right, Venezuela, man.
Yeah, we were talking about Venezuela before we started this.
Yeah, crazy. I know I use the word crazy a lot,
Yeah, you do.
but this is one of those things that is a part of history. I can't remember the last time, we took 1989, I think. Panama, yep.
Yeah.
Noriega, I think that was his name.
Something like that, yeah.
Bush, we took the Dictator, but this operation was smooth, clean, absolutely clean.
Went in, came out.
Yeah. I remember going to sleep last night, and I just saw, the bombardment. I never would have thought maybe airstrikes, maybe possibly could be killed, or someone from the government could be killed, but never that they would take this guy and bring him to the United States.
And his wife, too.
And his wife.
Yeah.
Without a single U.S. personnel killed. That tells you about the power of our military, man. Absolutely amazing.
I was listening to the to Trump's speech earlier about this mission.
Yeah.
And they said that the youngest guy in this mission, the youngest soldier, 20 years old.
Yep.
And I think the oldest was 49.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah.
Think about a 20-year-old guy.
Yeah.
Not even legal to drink a beer.
Yeah.
Goes in like a badass.
Yeah.
Takes that guy. Brings it back to America. I don't know if he took him directly. But just being
he's
part
involved.
of the mission.
Yeah.
Being part of the mission.
Yeah.
I don't know what role he had, because I know Delta Force was essentially the ones that captured him.
Was
right?
it Delta? Okay.
That's what I was reading.
Okay.
So
yeah.
I'm not sure if a 20-year-old can even be part of Delta Force.
No.
Right? Typically not.
No. Usually, most Delta guys are in their mid to late 30s.
Yeah. I don't know. It's something.
Yeah.
It's
what I'm kind of interested in is maybe you have more insight on this, is the economic repercussions around the world, on the United States. You got any thoughts on that?
Well,
because before we go into this, because here's a reality. Like I think you have to be naive not to know the real reason we went in.
Yeah, of course.
Right. And it's the old word.
But we had a reason. For drugs.
Reason, excuse, whatever
drugs,
you want to call it.
It was a reason.
Yeah.
I guess, you like the word excuse.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maduro was a criminal.
100%.
In many ways.
100%.
And from at least from what I saw.
Yeah.
And what I researched and looking at some news articles.
Yeah.
The people of Venezuela were happy.
He fit the ideal definition of a tyrannical dictator.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But you're right. There's a bigger reason why we went there. Obviously, oil and resources.
Correct.
National security and economic security is a big one too.
Right. Venezuela is number one on the list of oil reserves.
Yeah.
And I think Iraq was or is like 7th or 8th. So
it's right next to us. I mean,
makes sense.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Right. It makes sense why we wouldn't want Russia or China there. Right.
Yeah.
But now I'm sitting and analyzing this. Right. So Russia took Ukraine. We just took Venezuela. Is China next? Take Taiwan.
That's or attempt or whatever you want to call it.
The success is going to greatly depend on their military power, but
yeah,
I mean, it's not. At least in my opinion, it's not when. It's not if. It's when.
Yeah, it's a matter of time.
Yeah.
It's a matter of time.
They're already mobilizing military troops around that region.
They were doing exercises around there. Yeah.
So I mean, but we kind of been moving military equipment that way too, and personnel around Venezuela for a little bit of time now.
Yep.
So I mean, I think maybe me and you didn't know this was going to happen, but I'm sure you have some, very highly educated analyst that probably foresaw that we were eventually going to invade Venezuela.
I
You
think
know
the
what I mean?
invasion part was there. Like I think we all knew,
Mm-hmm.
we were gonna invade or do something. I think what the world didn't know is that, hey, we're gonna grab the head of state of a free country
Yeah.
and bring him back to New
Mhm.
York. That is that's history right there, man. We're
And
living through history.
and the element of surprise.
And yeah,
For some
exactly.
reason, our commander in chief likes surprises when it comes to military action.
Hey,
It works.
that could be a good thing or bad thing for, in this incident. I think that's a good thing. That
Yeah, of
obviously your enemy shouldn't know that you're coming.
course not. And one of the reporters during his public engagement asked him um, if he consulted with Congress, right? And Trump redirected Marco Rubio because he's typically the one that deals with that
Right.
process. And essentially, what it came down to is that they did not. They informed after the fact, but they didn't say anything because Congress is known to leak a
Mhm.
lot of information
Mhm.
from time to time.
That's true.
And, you know, if this information could possibly been leaked, right? If we would have went that route, then maybe the Secretary of War, I think that's what you call Secretary of War,
Secretary.
yeah.
Yep. Yep.
And
It was Secretary of Defense before, but
yeah,
yeah.
and Trump and Rubio, maybe they wouldn't been able to say that, hey, every single American soldier is back home,
Mhm.
right? The mission might have still happened, but the success rate might have not been the same,
Right.
right? Because he might have been more prepared and hiding. And actually, Trump makes a joke that he was trying to go behind some type of steel door, and he said he went in, but he didn't have time to close the door.
Maduro.
Yeah,
Did you see his picture this
I
morning
did. Yeah,
of in Nike
Mhm.
attire?
yeah.
Yeah. It was he didn't even get a chance to do his hair.
Nope. Looks like he didn't have good intel.
Obviously not. Obviously not.
But and it's a fascinating thing from being an American perspective, right?
Mhm.
The fact that we managed to go in, conduct a military operation of this extent,
Right.
um, and just take a leader out of a country, not kill him,
Yep.
right? Because it's easier to kill him than capture him. And
Yep.
usually, when you run in situations like this, you would think that as a leader, you would typically commit suicide than
Mhm.
being captured by
Mhm.
you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like that's what they say that Hitler did. He shot himself, right? And you would think that suicide might be a better way out. You
You
know?
know, it's for certain guys, but not a lot of these you know, these cowards. I
Yeah,
call them
yeah.
cowards
I agree with
because
that.
these cowards come into power by torturing innocent and weak people.
Mhm.
And Saddam was one of them.
Yeah.
He didn't commit suicide. He was hiding in a little wherever he was in a hole.
Mhm.
Same thing with Gaddafi. He was hiding under a, basically in a hole too. The guys that killed himself was like guys like the guys who the religious guys,
Yeah.
Al Baghdadi,
Mhm.
the leader
Yeah.
of ISIS. That guy killed himself, and he tried to fight back, and those guys they're driven different than some of these dictators.
Mhm.
Is what I've noticed. These guys, they're in luxury, comfort. They don't want to lose their life. They're
Yeah,
cowards.
yeah, yeah.
They are true cowards. Versus some of the other guys.
Hopefully he has a hard time in American custody, right? Hopefully he gets a taste of his own poison,
Yep.
for everything is done
Yep.
to his own people especially. You
Yep.
know, it's one thing to hurt or do damage to a foreign country,
Yeah.
but it's a completely different thing when you're doing damage to your own people. that to me is a traitor,
Yeah.
right? That leader
That's
is a traitor.
that's a different level evil.
Yeah, that's like that's as evil as you can get.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Or a different level of narcissism.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But I mean, we'll see. I know that he's being taken into New York. I was looking before we started the podcast. I was looking at a news article, and it seems that he just landed in New York
Oh,
about half an hour ago.
off of the Iajima.
Yeah, with a plane. They brought him to New York, and I was looking earlier at some other news articles, and they already have a lawsuit.
Isn't that where El Chapo is?
I think he's at a maximum security in Colorado.
Oh, okay. I guess that's where they get tried, maybe.
Possibly, yeah. I'm not really sure why they choose New York. I know Trump said something about New York and Florida, but I didn't really fully understand the context.
I think it has to do with like the circuit courts.
Yeah,
Maybe for the drug guys. I don't know.
could be. I'm not
something to look into.
That'll be a lawyer question.
Yeah.
I don't think we're fit to answer that one.
You know, it'd be funny. All these guys share like a similar cell.
Mm-hmm.
It's like El Chapo talking to what's his name, Maduro. You know, all these guys talking to each other.
Mhm.
Hey, how'd they get you, bro?
I got you too.
Yeah.
That's I don't know, man. We'll see what happens. But anyways, to answer your question, right?
For the economics.
From an economic perspective,
Yeah.
because we can speculate on what happened. At the end of the day, I think we can all agree why,
Mm-hmm.
right? We invaded
Mm-hmm.
Venezuela, even though I like to say we managed Venezuela. I wouldn't consider it a full invasion. I would think that we manage. We're managing Venezuela for the time being until we have a new leader in place, right?
We manage everywhere, I guess. In that theory.
We're the United States of management.
I guess so.
To an extent, it wasn't a full-blown invasion. I'm glad that there wasn't, at least not that we know of, any civilian casualties. Right? Anytime there's a military operation and civilians don't have to suffer, it's a good thing. And I'm happy about that. That not a single civilian.
No innocent
at least
should be killed.
we don't know yet, right?
Yeah.
At least I don't know yet. I haven't seen anything about civilians, but
Still early.
still early, right?
Yeah.
But hopefully there's no civilian casualties,
Mm-hmm.
right? And if we have confirmation that there's no civilian casualties, I would consider this a great success for America.
Right.
But economically is where I guess the juicy topic really boils up, right? How is this going to affect the US dollar? How is this going to affect commodities? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I'm a businessman,
Yeah.
right? And I have lenses, I look through lenses of economic prosperity, right? I can't control the world and I can't control what happens in the world, but I can react economically, right? Through investments, through buying, through shorting. That's the lenses I typically tend to look through, right? And I believe, right, from my own analysis, and this is before Venezuela, the Venezuelan incident, but I believe that we're gonna have a commodity crash,
Yeah.
right? Because we have gold at all-time highs, we have silver at an all-time highs, and typically when people buy commodities, right, they buy it to hedge against fiat currency, which is a paper currency essentially. US dollar is considered a fiat currency, right? Not backed by anything.
Mm-hmm.
Before we had the gold standard, so you had equal amount of gold to dollars, right? You could anytime go into a bank, give them dollars, and you'd get gold, right? We don't have that privilege anymore, so that's why they call it a fiat currency. But I think that we replaced the gold standard with the military standard, right? The United States military was strong, hence the dollar was strong, and over years, the dollar, you can't deny the fact that the dollar was losing power,
True.
right?
BRICS,
Globally.
man.
Yeah.
This is a setback.
Oh, big
for,
one.
for China and Russia.
Big one, you
Yeah.
know, and Venezuela is rich in oil and resources, and we now have control of all those resources.
Yeah.
And all those resources are going, and Trump said it himself, they're going to continue selling. He didn't say anything about a dollar or anything like that, but we all can 100% assume that it's going to be in dollars.
Yeah.
Hence, the dollar is going to become strong again. And we also showed the world that we're not militarily weak, right? Because it seems to an extent like everyone knew that the United States is strong, but we kind of almost like forgot. You don't use it, you lose it.
It's like strong guys entering competitions. You got to enter
Yeah.
it. You got to dominate it. That's what your competitor. That's how your competitors know if
Yep.
you're strong or not.
Yeah, 100%.
If you're just training, that's not gonna
No.
reflect your strength.
But we showed the world
Yeah.
that when we talk, we back it up, right? And in a combination of that, essentially, is what I'm getting at is that combined with the new resources we've acquired, and considering the fact that we're now controlling Venezuela, right? We're gonna manage Venezuela per Trump until we can find the appropriate people to take control of it, or appropriate people that we think are going to be able to manage Venezuela as an American government. The dollar is essentially going to restabilize and become strong again globally.
You could say a puppet government.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't.
Here's my thing on this.
I wouldn't be surprised if we.
These are negative connotations and certain aspects of politically correct conversations.
Mhm.
I give two fucks, man.
Yeah, I like
right?
that.
Because it is what it is,
Mhm.
and we have to do this,
Mhm.
right? If we don't do this, then evil that's lurking at bay, they're gonna keep lurking around,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And if we have to set up puppet governments, if we have to correct the world.
Mhm.
The word back home that we use is in my tradition and the Sikh tradition is soda,
Okay.
right? Soda means to correct something.
Mhm.
So if we have to correct stuff and whatever it takes, as long as it's not hurting innocent lives and it's from a humanitarian point of view, I got nothing against it. Call it whatever it is.
Yeah. Satellite can also be, it can be a satellite country.
Yep.
Essentially, we're controlling. That's it. Venezuela is under American control,
Yeah.
and no one can do shit about it. We won this race because
Yeah.
Russia was trying to come into Venezuela for a while, right?
Yeah.
They had good relationships with Venezuela. Russia tried to give us a few warnings that don't mess with Venezuela. Obviously, we did not listen.
Yeah.
And I think they might have been sending military equipment to Venezuela.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for that. Now we have some Russian military equipment as well.
Yep.
Now we can see what they got, which probably some World War II shit.
Also, good alternative to Cancun and Cabo. Hopefully soon.
Yeah. New vacation spots.
That's right.
But
in keeping in mind the benefits for the Venezuelan people as well,
Yeah.
I think this will be good for them.
I think so too. I think because Trump said it himself. The Venezuelan people deserve the money that the oil is going to be generating.
Yeah.
Right. And
Hopefully they get it though.
I think they will under American control.
Yeah.
Right. Because America's not greedy in that sense. Right.
Yeah.
America's a very wealthy country, and it gives opportunity for everyone in this country to be wealthy.
Correct.
Through business, through any form of legal ventures. Right.
Yeah.
There's no limitations on. I mean, you have private individuals flying to space.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's
a big deal.
That's a big deal. That's a lot of freedom that the public enterprises can have.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm trying to say is that I think commodities are going to crash, in my personal opinion. And that's why I short sold a few commodities, right?
Yeah.
I think they're going to crash, and I think now I'm more certain than ever that they're going to crash.
Tell me what your ball says about real estate. That's my gig.
Real estate, I don't know much. I don't know.
I mean, if the dollar goes up, hopefully
the
real
dollar
estate
goes
does
up.
good.
Yeah, I mean, but I just know because you got to look at it this way. Commodities are hedging, right? People don't invest in commodities to get wealthy. They hedge their money in it, right? They protect their assets essentially, right? It's the protection against inflation, and it's a protection against the currency if the currency loses its value.
Mm-hmm.
But now that we're realizing that the dollar is back, there's no need to keep gold in your safe, right? There's no need to keep silver. Now, yeah, we utilize gold and silver for it's a good semiconductor and stuff like that, but not enough to be worth all-time highs. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's gonna, in my opinion at least, it's gonna crash. I don't want to give anyone financial advice, get fucking sued for it. But
Well, I mean, it's just opinion, right?
don't take my advice. Just an opinion.
That's your disclaimer on the bottom.
That's my disclaimer, not financial advice. But I think gold, the dollar is back, and I think that the commodities are they're not gonna crash. We're gonna go back to the normal levels because gold and silver kind of fluctuated around the same level for a very long time.
Yeah.
And gold almost I don't think it hit 5,000, but it got pretty close, to hitting 5,000. And silver, I believe it hit 80, right? A lot for silver.
Yeah.
Silver ain't worth that much.
Yep.
So we'll see. But my question is, what's next, right?
Yeah.
Do you think China is going to invade Taiwan now?
I think that's the discussion we had. China, it's a matter of time,
Mm-hmm.
that they show some sort of like serious aggression.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not if they are, it's more so when,
Yeah.
as we had discussed before.
Well, I
Yeah.
showed you that video early, and our tech can put it in the video.
两岸同胞血浓于水，祖国统一的历史大势不可阻挡。当今世界变乱交织，一些地区仍被战火笼罩。
Yeah,
Okay.
you saw his speech
Yep.
about Taiwan and China having the same blood. That's a perfect indicator that
That's
we're coming.
Right. That's similar what Putin said about
Yeah.
the Ukrainians.
Same exact thing.
Yep.
The difference is that I don't know how easy it'll be for China. I know Russia's having one hell of a hard time to take over Ukraine.
Yeah.
And
When you have the weapons, man, it's hard.
It's not just about the weapons, though, right? It's about minimizing casualties, right?
Mhm.
I have no doubt that Russia can take Ukraine over in one day, but
Yeah.
there'll be so much casualties that you don't want the people of the country you're taking over hate you.
That's
right?
true.
In Venezuela, the majority of the public feels liberated at
Correct.
this moment, right? The
Correct.
way we did. Now, if we killed 500,000 civilians, the sentiment might change a little bit.
Well, we had that. It's called Iraq.
Exactly.
That's what the sentiments are kind of in the gray zone over there.
And that's, I think, why, at least in my opinion, is why Russia is not really, pedaled to the floor into Ukraine, because they want to minimize, even though there's a lot of civilian casualties, but on both sides, they also have a pretty real war.
Yeah.
Pretty, like fucking almost World War II style war,
Yep.
right? Besides the drones.
Yeah.
I think that's the only new thing they really have, right? A few more systems, but essentially they're still on foot. They're still doing trenches in some parts,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
But we'll see how China does, right? Let's see what they're capable of doing,
What the reaction is.
what their reaction is, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not too familiar with politics in Taiwan, but I don't think the leadership is a problem there, right?
No,
Not
they're pro-American,
Yeah,
and their whole thing is that they don't want to be part of this basically a dictator type of government, and they want their freedoms. It's
they want their independence.
Same feeling Ukraine had.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But the Venezuela thing is different.
of
People
course.
that will say like, hey, that are trying to argue, hey, Taiwan and all these places, it's the same thing, same scenario with the United States and how the United States oppresses other countries. No, I don't think that is the same.
Yeah,
It's you can't just put everything into the same basket.
Mhm.
That's a different scenario. This is a scenario where the people of Venezuela hated this guy.
yeah,
The guy was like, a little bit of his history, and then the guy he, prior to him,
Mhm.
Hugo Chavez.
yeah,
That guy was absolutely terrible. And this guy, they rigged elections. They had less than 1/3 of the country's support,
mm-hmm.
and they still won over and over again because fake elections.
yeah.
And he killed his opposition. He jailed his opposition,
Mm-hmm.
and any protests, anything like that. Just recently, I think 40+ people died that were just peacefully protesting.
Seems like this type of dictatorship is pretty common in South America for some reason.
It is. It is.
You know.
Has to do partly with the history and
Mhm.
and but the point is, this is not the same situation as Taiwan
No,
and
because
Ukraine.
that is an aggression.
Yeah.
Right. Russia, Ukraine is an aggression. China, Taiwan is going to be an aggression. And I say going because they're going to eventually. It's almost inevitable at this point,
Mhm.
right? It's going to happen. But U.S. and Venezuela, and I'm not saying this because I'm American and it comes from a biased perspective, but it was almost like a liberation with a little bit of gain,
Mhm.
right? Because obviously America has, we're profiting pretty damn good. I'm excited for my gas prices to go down.
I don't think it's a little bit of a gain, bro.
That's a big economic gain, man.
It's a huge gain.
We're doing good.
Yeah.
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 That's a jackpot,
Yeah.
right? We hit the lottery
Yeah.
for
But
resources.
again, it's resources that evil could have grabbed,
Of course, yeah.
right?
And they were
And-
looking at it. They were eyeballing it.
100% eyeballing. it.
And the way I look at
It's
it,
either they take it or we take it,
I'm-
and it's what's wrong with being proactive,
no, it's nothing wrong with
right?
that.
That's how you stay on top.
But let's look
Versus reactive.
past resources, right? Let's look at national security,
Mhm.
right? If a foreign entity like Russia, because Russia was eyeballing, and Russia and Venezuela had great relationships, right?
Mhm.
That to me smells really close, right? Similar to the Cuban Missile Crisis days, or not too far from the U.S.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I think our country has learned from that mistake once.
Yeah.
And I don't think we're gonna let it happen again.
The Bay of Pigs, sorry.
Mhm.
Yeah. Incident. Yep.
So, because I think we learned from that, and I think we acted quick.
Yep.
It was also a matter of time. Someone was gonna get their hands into Venezuela sooner or later,
That's true.
right?
That's
But
true.
the question is this, right?
It-
And going from a humanitarian perspective, right? Do you think let's for the sake of argument, say that Russia would have invaded, or I don't think there would have been an invasion. I think the only thing that stopped Russia from going into Venezuela was the reaction from us. In fact,
Absolutely. It's
but
us.
they would have welcomed Russia. I mean, not the people, but the leader. The question is this: do you think the people would have had a better life, and would they have been liberated from crime if Russia would have went in? Probably not, right? Because look at Cubans,
Yeah.
right? When Russia supported Fidel Castro,
Yep.
were people liberated?
Yeah.
I met a lot of Cubans in my life, and times are bad over there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I in this talking about this particular scenario, these are all hypotheticals,
Yeah,
and
of
it's
course.
opinions, and it's my opinion that Russia or China would have been gone in, they would have supported criminals like
Of
Maduro.
course, yeah.
And because criminals like Maduro, they don't care about, human life.
Mm-hmm.
And I personally believe that, those kind of countries don't care about human life either. So they don't care that these people are in power and they're being used, and also it would benefit them as well.
Yeah.
Here for us, I think we just hit two birds with one stone.
Mm-hmm.
We took out a criminal and we got economic gains, and then I guess three birds,
Mm-hmm.
we stopped their gains, their economic gains. So for the most part, positive operation.
The thing is, with this current leaders, right? They're morally corrupt.
Mhm.
So if Russia would have came in, it would have been really easy to continue morally corrupting them. They would have no issue with continue committing crime on behalf of the Russian government for the Russian interest, for the
Absolutely.
sake of money, regardless of morally wrong.
Absolutely.
But I'm not saying that the United States is perfect, but at least we try to be morally right.
Yeah.
Our intentions, even when we invaded the Middle East, right? We didn't go in with the intention for destruction. It was war casualties, right? But we tried everything we could. And if you look at least movies that they've made on, let's use the war in Iraq, for example. If you look at movies they made, or if you read books that the soldiers wrote, they always had this almost like feeling of holding back to shoot an innocent woman that had a suicide vest on her.
Mhm.
Right? They
Or kids.
were kids. They waited till the very last second when they confirmed that that's a vest.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Correct.
And then they took the shot. And then they were morally degraded by doing that, by killing that kid, by killing that woman, right?
Yeah.
Those other entities we're talking about, they would not even risk. They would just take the shot, regardless if there's a vest or not.
I agree. Except Abu Ghraib. It was a prison in Iraq
Mhm.
where U.S. Marines tortured, humiliated prisoners, and some innocent, some not so innocent. They would get them naked, stack them up, humiliate them, take pictures of them. But however,
Was there consequences for
that's where I was gonna get. That's what the however was.
Okay.
There were consequences eventually.
that? Mm-hmm.
And because we believe in that, our justice system believes in that. Even if our own do wrong, there's consequences. One way or another. Our American history is not nice to people, even if they're within
Mm-hmm.
that do wrong. And I think, like you said, America's not perfect, and America's enemies will for sure say America's not perfect or not good at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree that it's not perfect, but there's still a beacon of hope, and I think it will remain in the hearts and the minds of the
Mhm.
American people, the people that love justice and people that love truth and what's humanity in general.
Yeah,
And then you see that in the soldiers. Do soldiers make mistakes on an individual level? Yes, they have.
Mhm.
In American history, they have, but there's been consequences.
of course. And that's what I was telling you earlier, the difference between a nationalist and a patriot,
Mhm.
right? A nationalist stands with its government or its country, regardless of right or wrong, right? But a patriot, it only stands with its country for right.
Correct.
But if it's wrong, a patriot will turn against its country, or not its country, but its government,
Mm-hmm.
extremely quick,
Yep.
right? That's the main difference, and I think that's what's special about America. I think that's what's special about every American.
But often those two are confused,
Of course, yeah.
right? The nationalists,
yeah.
it's a very thin line.
It's a very, and that's another thing. It's a very, I think, confusing the patriot with a nationalist it's a fabricated. I'm gonna say it, but it's a fabricated liberal
Mhm.
ideology,
Mhm.
right? They're trying to create this image of a patriot as being something of a Nazi Germany national. There's
Yeah.
nothing wrong to love your country, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong
To protest your government
to
too.
protest your government, and
Yeah.
there's I just I understand why people get upset sometimes with changes, right? With certain changes internally, like with the new mayor of uh of New York,
Yeah.
right? I understand,
Yeah.
right? It's not normal. I may think about it for the entire history of of the United States. He swore on the Quran,
Mhm.
right? It's not normal, and I can understand why people get upset over it.
Mhm.
But it's his constitutional right,
Mhm.
right? It's right in the form of a constitution for this country, right? He has that
So as a
right.
patriot, you shouldn't hate that.
No, of course not, because it kind of contradicts what you stand for,
Right.
right? We have freedom of religion,
Yep.
and as a patriot, right, or even as a constitutionalist,
Mm.
you obviously support every single page of your constitution. You can't pick and choose what you like and what you don't. It's either you like it or you don't, and it's within his right to do so. And
Yeah.
people, I might not agree with it, but I don't necessarily have to hate an individual for it, or go and protest against it. Because now, essentially, now you're protesting against your own constitution,
Mhm.
right? Just to kind of, I know we're going off topic, but to kind of like put that out there, you know?
Yeah, no. Overall, I think what we're trying to cover is the American way,
Mhm.
right? What is the American way, and what is a patriot, and what because like you'll get a lot of people that'll say, "Hey, this is wrong,"
Mm-hmm.
right? What we did in Venezuela is wrong. What America's a bully. America's this. America's that. You know, again, not perfect,
Yeah.
right? But the intentions, maybe not at an individual level. Maybe you might not like a certain administration or a certain individual in administration, but as a nation,
Mm-hmm.
I think the intentions have always been pure,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
I agree with that.
Because if you like you said before, if you talk to the military, people in the military, their mission is usually out of being pure.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there might be individuals that are corrupt, but I'm talking about as a whole
Yeah.
organization. They're not there to kill innocent people. They're not there to kill kids.
Mm-hmm.
Have we supported other regimes that have killed innocent people and kids? Possibly,
Yeah, we
right?
did.
But as a nation, do we approve of that? I don't think we do, right? I don't
Yeah.
think as a majority nation we would ever approve of that kind of. Does it happen? It does, but the United States in itself
Mm-hmm.
doesn't go into the intention of killing innocent people
Yeah.
and hurting innocent lives. Right? Same thing. I don't think we went into Venezuela in that intention as well.
No, I don't think. I think we went in to actually, like I said, liberate. Right. I mean, we had a reason to go in,
Yeah,
or as you say, an excuse.
yeah.
Right, and we obviously have things to gain from it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we also did a good thing.
Yeah.
I think we did a good thing, like, period.
Mm-hmm.
Right. One, we're strengthening our own economy, and a stronger America is it's a stronger world.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I think we're running out of time, and let's end it here. I think this is the fullest podcast we've actually done since we've been messing with this stuff.
We're gonna keep going, man.
We're gonna keep going. We're trying to figure it out. We haven't had it. We're still learning the camera system and everything in between, but it's we'll dial it in.
Yep.
So all right.
All right.
Till next one.
Good night. Happy New Year.